Have you ever had that feeling that something really good was about to happen, and suddenly on impulse you froze, as if an invisible force pulled you back into the zone of fear, doubt, scarcity? Now imagine that a simple 5-second choice can be the difference between the life you have and the life you deserve. 5 seconds, that's all it takes. This is the story of Rodrigo, a street vendor in downtown Belo Horizonte. Tired of the routine, the bills, the pressure, he heard about a strange technique. When you feel the impulse to do something that brings you closer to your dream, count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and act. He thought it was silly, but decided to try. That afternoon, he saw an ad for a free business seminar at a fancy hotel. He almost walked past, but he remembered the countdown. 5 seconds, and he went in. That changed everything. Today, Rodrigo owns his own brand and mentors hundreds of entrepreneurs. You might think it's luck, but it's so much more. There is a spiritual force behind fast decisions that defy fear. There is a vibration of courage that the universe recognizes and responds to. And that's what we're going to talk about. A simple, powerful, accessible, and above all, spiritual technique. The 5-second technique to instantly attract money. And yes, it works. The key is not money, it's decision. Most people believe that money will come when they have the perfect idea, the finished plan, the guaranteed investment. But the truth is that money, this energy that moves the world, only approaches those who decide. Decision is the antenna of abundance, and it manifests in the now, not in a future plan, not when things get better, but in the exact moment you choose to vibrate differently. What the 5-second technique proposes is more than a countdown. It is a spiritual trigger that breaks the hesitation pattern. And why does it work? Because hesitation is the gateway to fear. When you hesitate, you make room for doubt, for the old, what if it doesn't work? What if I lose? But when you decide in 5 seconds before fear takes hold, the universe responds to you quickly. There's a powerful verse in James 1:6. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. In other words, the one who hesitates loses direction. The one who decides finds flow. This is the first pillar of the 5-second technique. Decision is a spiritual calling. Every bold decision made with faith, without hesitation, sends a vibrational message to the quantum field. I am ready. And when you are ready, the universe opens doors that have been locked for years. The moment, everything changes. Have you noticed that the big turning points in your life happened in quick moments, almost impulsively? A call you answered, an email you sent, an unexpected yes, a step outside the routine. Life doesn't change through long processes. It changes in seconds, and those seconds carry centuries of accumulated energy. The 5-second technique works like a sword that cuts the invisible ties that hold you to a limited reality. At the exact moment you think, I'm going to try. I'll send this proposal. I'll pay for that course I want. I'll record that video even if I'm scared, and you act within 5 seconds, a key turns in the spiritual realm. What blocks prosperity is not lack of effort, it's excess of waiting. The time you take to decide is the time the universe takes to respond. And when you act with faith in 5 seconds, you activate God's time, the kairos, the perfect, timeless time. Remember, you are not alone. Your spirit knows what to do, your body feels it, but your mind hesitates. The technique exists to silence the mind and hear the inner calling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Act. All of heaven moves to support you when you take a step in faith. A deep personal experience. I didn't discover this technique in a book. I found it in a moment of despair, an unpayable debt, a feeling of failure. I was lying down, staring at the ceiling, thinking, this is the end. Then an impulse came. message an old client and ask if he needed help. The voice in my mind said, "You'll look desperate. He won't respond. You'll humiliate yourself." But I counted 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and hit send. 5 minutes later, he replied, "Yes, I actually need help. I was just thinking of you." That message turned into a months-long contract, and that's how everything began to shift. Today, whenever I hesitate, I count to 5 and act. No guarantees, but with faith, because those who plant courage reap miracles. And you? Have you ever experienced something like that? A moment when you chose to act before fear stopped you? Comment below if you've ever felt that kind of impulse and what happened after. Your story might inspire someone. The connection between faith and movement. The Bible says, "Faith without works is dead," James 2:17. And the 5-second technique is the bridge between faith and action. It's the spark that ignites the engine of manifestation. It's not enough to just visualize, write goals, meditate. If you don't move toward what you believe, the energy field remains still. God does not bless inertia. He blesses movement. And that movement doesn't have to be huge. It can be a click, a conversation, a step. But it has to happen in the first 5 seconds after the impulse, before doubt sets in. It's as if the universe says, "You want it, then show me." And when you show it with action, it surprises you in return, because faith is acting without proof, and miracles happen for those who move before being certain. The science behind the miracle. Neuroscience shows that our brain goes into autopilot whenever it perceives threat or discomfort, and it uses fear as an excuse to protect you. But this protection holds you back. The 5-second technique tricks the brain. It deactivates the hesitation system and activates the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for conscious decisions. In other words, by counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and acting, you take control. You leave autopilot. You become the co-creator of your reality. And money? It starts to show up when you take the wheel of your own mind. This is applied spirituality. It's faith with science. It's body, mind, and spirit in alignment. Money as a spiritual messenger. Have you ever thought that money is just a response? It's not the goal. It's the messenger. It shows up when you are in harmony with the flow of life. And that flow only happens when you live in motion. The 5-second technique activates that flow. When you act with courage, money shows up as confirmation. When you retreat in fear, it disappears as correction. It reveals where your faith is. It responds to your vibration. That's why this technique is not just about wealth. It's about freedom. It's about identity, about owning that you are heir to blessings and promises. Daily practice in 5 seconds. Now let's put it into practice. From today on, whenever you feel that positive impulse, to call someone, to start a project, to invest in yourself, to take a stand, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and act. Don't rationalize, just go. Do this for 7 days and observe. Signs will start to appear. Money may not fall from the sky, but it will come through opportunities, ideas, connections, clarity, and that is far more valuable. Use the technique with faith, with surrender, and with gratitude. Final call to action and life lesson. Action and life. If this content touched your heart, like this video now, share it with someone who needs to hear this. Comment if you've experienced something like this, and subscribe to the channel. Because the universe responds to your vibration, and even this video is a sign for you to act. Remember, 5 seconds separate you from the life you want. Between hesitation and the miracle, there is a choice. And it starts with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Final life lesson. Quote, "Miracles don't take time. Miracles only wait for your decision."